Why you should not hire a wedding planner. Hey girl, it's me, Kim, the hostess with the mostest, and I've been planning events for over 20 years. I planned my first event on the playground for a friend who was moving away in elementary school. Well, since then, I've gone from planning juice box parties to over-the-top events for many clients. So what do? I help couples uncomplicate the wedding planning process. So whether you're a DIY bride or you're a bride that's deciding on whether or not you should hire a planner, I am here to help you. So if this is your first time to my YouTube channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us for more DIY budget-friendly wedding tips, okay? So let's get into today's topic. So this is one that may be a little bit controversial. So I'm sharing this with you, and I am a planner talking about this. So what is the topic? Why you should not hire a wedding planner. So before anybody beats me up and asks me, why would you say that? How could you say that? This is the reality of it. I'm friends with a lot of event planners, and we talk, some local, some in other states, and we all share the headaches of event planning. Whether it's weddings, parties, whatever, we talk about it. We talk about y'all, okay? Good and bad, but we share best practices even with each other. And there are pain points on both sides, for the planner and for the couple or the client. So this is why I'm sharing with you 6 reasons why you should not hire a wedding planner. So let's get into it. And let's talk about it. All right. One of the reasons, and this is a really easy, simple reason why you shouldn't hire a planner, if you're having an intimate wedding. And when I say intimate wedding, it could be an elopement where you and your significant other go away, or if you're planning an intimate type of wedding. When I say intimate, I don't mean 150, 200 people. It could mean as low as 10 people, 5 people, 30 people. You really don't need a planner. But you can hire a planner, consult with, just to ask questions, or for vendor referrals. Some planners do charge a fee for that, or just, talking to them to make sure you're making the best decision before you sign on the dotted line, or refer you to the right resources so you don't make a bad decision when it comes to your budget, or if budget is not an issue, you just want something intimate and you don't know where to begin. So we do offer tips on that. So make sure to click the link in the bio, because we have a whole checklist for couples who are planning elopements or very intimate weddings. Whether your budget is tight or whether it's unlimited, it's still a good checklist to help you along the way. So if you're doing something intimate small, why do you need someone? So with elopements, there are a lot of places that offer packages that are kind of all inclusive. You're going to a smaller intimate venue like a restaurant, or you're going away destination and everything is all inclusive. So you probably don't need a planner. And if it's just a handful of people, it's really something you can plan. Send out an invite, digital invite, maybe get a friend, a close family member to handle the RSVP, and create a wedding website where the questions are there. So you probably don't need a planner for something as intimate. If you do, it may just be to consult and ask questions or vendor referral. But in those cases, when you're doing something small, you don't need a planner. Even if budget is not an issue, you just want something small, why waste your time with a planner? So that's number 1. Now, number 2 is if you're a DIY couple, DIY bride, and you like to plan and do these things yourself. So some couples are very savvy. They're great at planning all the logistics, getting all the pricing together, working with the vendors, creating their own timelines, managing their own budget, picking out their own decorations. If you're very savvy and you like doing it, you probably don't need a planner. So if you're that person, go ahead, do it yourself, right? And we're here for that. So following us on our social media platforms, we share great tips that'll help you if you're a DIY couple. We have great checklists and tip sheets, our book, our workbook that will help those couples who really love the planning process. And for DIY couples, you may not need a full event planner. There are a lot of day of coordinators out there who will help you with just the logistics of the day, but you've done all the planning, so they're there just to manage what you have planned. So you need to be very specific, because when you hire day of planners, they're not there to do all the pre-wedding stuff. They're there strictly to manage you either the week of or the month of your wedding planning. So you have to do a lot of the work. So in those situations, hiring a planner is not the best option. Look, planners are creatives. We like to be in a space where we can be creative. You like to be creative. So the two may not be a good pairing. We don't like to be stifled creatively. And nobody likes to be micromanaged. So if you're good at planning everything yourself, then go ahead and plan it, and maybe hire a day of coordinator or family or friend who can help you with all the planning that you've done just to make sure the day goes off like you planned it and you're happy in the end. So that's the second reason why you probably don't need to hire a wedding planner. The third reason is you're on a tight budget. Look, weddings are expensive. Unless you're eloping or planning a very intimate wedding, which could still be expensive if you go somewhere expensive where it's expensive per head. I mean, it just depends if it's destination or whatever. But if your budget is really, really tight, a planner is there to plan. A lot of times people get confused about planners and think we're there to clip coupons and we're there and we're going to take a $20,000 event and make it happen for $2,000. Not going to happen. There are some people who like planning weddings as a hobby, so they're not really into making money. So, they will go in and do things just for, the gram. And sometimes you can find planners who are new. And so they're trying to build their gallery and they may work for little of nothing just so they can get the experience and build their gallery. But it comes with the pros and cons. It's less experience, less vendor management, or I wouldn't say vendor management, but less relationships with venues and vendors. So there's a learning curve there and it's not always bad. But if your budget is really, really tight, probably hiring a more experienced planner is not the best thing for you because planners charge based on different payment processes. Some charge a percentage of the wedding, some charge a flat fee plus commission. It just depends. So you want to make sure you're asking the right questions when deciding if you're going to hire a planner. So if your budget is really, really tight, or you're still kind of deciding whether you should hire one, we have a great tip sheet checklist where you can ask the right questions to make sure you're hiring the best person for you. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're happy with the decision if you can afford it and that the planner is happy. Because look, we're in the business to create great experiences. It doesn't always have to be, luxury weddings. Some people stay in that realm of weddings, but there are planners who work with all budgets. Some do and some don't. But the one thing I can tell you is planners don't like to be stifled creatively. So when you're hiring a planner, you want to be honest and make sure you're really honest about what you can afford and what you cannot afford, because everybody wants to have a great experience. And at the end of the day, you want to have a great experience. All right. And here's the thing. Look, you can pay a lot of money for a planner. And sometimes you have buyer's remorse. And sometimes you don't pay a lot and you don't have buyer's remorse. But if your budget is really, really tight, I would not suggest that you hire a planner, because the relationship at some point may have a little bit of tension because they're trying to create experience for you. And then you're pushing back because you really could not afford it to begin with, but you weren't honest when you booked them. So if you know that the budget does not allow for it, that is a luxury experience. And that is something that you don't need to plan your wedding. You can do it yourself. Girl, you can plan it. So, make sure you follow us for great tips on how to plan your wedding. And we've helped countless couples do that. So again, if your budget is not in line with hiring a planner, then that's probably one of the reasons why you shouldn't hire a planner, if you just can't afford it. Okay. So number 4 is you're at an all-inclusive venue. And what I mean by all-inclusive is you literally turnkey, walk in, everything is done for you. There are a lot of great, beautiful venues that are all inclusive, where all you have to walk in with is your flowers, sometimes a cake, and your vendors like photographer, videographer, and sometimes a, photo booth. They may let you bring that in if they don't offer it. So all-inclusive venues are not bad, but sometimes they're not vendor friendly and they have the preferred vendor list, or they're just not event planner friendly. So they have their own timelines. They have their own day of coordinator on site. So a site coordinator is not the same as a wedding planner. A site coordinator works for the venue, and their job is to make sure you get through your timeline for the entire day, meaning they're on site to take your gifts, to check your guests in, coats, gifts, take all of your gifts, cater to you, the couple and the wedding party, the parents, immediate family. But outside of that, pre-wedding stuff, they may have a preferred vendor list they may give to you, but they're not going to be there helping you book anything outside of the venue. So they're there strictly to coordinate along with the venue. But it's a good option. I tell couples all the time, when the budget doesn't allow you to do luxury, because some all-inclusive venues can be luxury, they can be expensive. But if you're wanting a more customized event, then you're getting into luxury, and that's getting into cost, and it's costing you more. And so when you go to all-inclusive venue, whether it's expensive or not, sometimes they have some of the best deals. Weddings are expensive, period. But going to an all-inclusive venue does give you a lot of amenities. The cost is all-inclusive. You don't have to come in with a lot. When you pay one price, you pay that price and that's it. Sometimes you bring in a DJ. Sometimes the DJ is included with the venue. All the catering's included. It's one set price. It's not tiered pricing, based on like a bar where you may have call brand or top shelf. It's kind of all one price. Everything is there for you. And if you want to do any upgrades, they will let you maybe do some upgrades into certain packages or things like that. But it's not a bad option. And I tell clients all the time, consider all inclusive when you want to just walk in and not be bothered, or you want something where you just pay one check and you're done, regardless of the reason. All inclusive venues, you really don't always need a wedding planner. That is a place where event planners typically don't steer clients to, because it stifles us with all the customization, all the things we like to do. So all inclusive venues work, they're great, but you probably don't need a planner because you'll have a day of coordinator on site. Okay. The fifth reason why you should not hire a wedding planner is if you're doing a low-key wedding. And this is different from an intimate wedding. And when I say low-key, you still could be spending quite a bit of money. I usually see this with couples who've been married before, or they're already married and they're doing a vow renewal. So they're really not doing all the pomp and circumstance. So they're not doing a huge wedding party. They're not maybe throwing a bouquet, maybe not. They're just not doing all the pomp and circumstance, all the big things. They may do one location. They're probably not doing a church or a ceremony at a different location. They're going to do everything in one location, and they just want a big party. So there really isn't always a need for a planner. And if it is maybe somebody just on site to manage the logistics. So if you're a couple that's like, look, we're going to this beautiful venue, we went and sat down with the floors, we've done a little DIY, or we've hired somebody just to decorate, and we're not doing all the logistics, we're not doing all the pomp and circumstance, and you probably do not need a wedding planner for that, because you just don't need it. You're not doing all the big hula, blah, blah, blah. Still could be a big venue, still could be spending quite a bit of money. It's not always about budget. It's not even intimate. You're just not into all the pomp and circumstance. You're keeping it small, or you're having a big party and a big celebration. You're just eliminating all the pomp and circumstance. You probably don't need a wedding planner, or just someone to handle day of logistics, but you eliminated a lot of that. So you're just walking in and having a good time. So probably don't need a planner. And the number 6 reason, which a lot of planners will not always admit, and we talk about it amongst each other, is that you are a couple or a bride who does not like to take direction and you like to be in control. Now look, your wedding day is your day, and you should have opinions. You should get everything you want. But if you're a person that has a difficult personality, and you know who you are, if you're a person that does not like to listen, what is the point? And I like to use the example of a personal trainer. If you hire a personal trainer and they're there to help you lose weight or condition the body or whatever, and they create a meal plan and a workout plan, and they tell you to drink this much water and get this much sleep, but you aren't willing to do the work, when it doesn't come out to be what you want, was it the trainer or was it you? So, when you're planning your wedding, yes, you're planning it too. It's not just the planner. Absolutely. But you have to really manage your expectations and really look at yourself and say, am I the problem or is it the planner? Because planners are creatives. We don't like to be stifled. We don't want to be micromanaged. And when you hire us, you hired us for a reason. So just like you hire a personal trainer who's at the gym, but you don't show up, they give you a meal plan and you don't follow it, you don't drink the water, you don't get the rest. Was it their fault? So I tell couples all the time, if you go in with the attitude that you're hiring a planner to be in servitude to you, or, to be at your beck and call, then you need to establish that up front, or it needs to be in writing, or you're going to be paying a whole lot of money if you want concierge or personal assistant type management. So if you're that type of person, I would say you either hire a planner or a personal assistant, because you are planning your wedding too. So if you want a turnkey experience, then you definitely going to have to spend a lot of money. It's going to take coordination of multiple planners or a team to manage you. And so that's when you get into luxury, when you can snap your fingers and want everybody at your beck and call. But even still, and I would just say this, having a planner should be a good experience. You shouldn't walk away from having buyer's remorse, and the planner shouldn't feel like they can't wait to get you down the aisle, slam the door, and keep walking. Okay? It should be a mutual understanding. Now, sometimes in relationships, when the event is over, couples detach, they don't keep up. But a lot of my couples, I still talk to them. I follow them on social media. If I'm watching, I'll comment when there's a baby. I'll go to the shower, congratulate them on all the different milestones. And sometimes it's over when the contract is over. And that's okay too. It's not always a bad thing. It's just that it's over. The job was done. But if you have a certain attitude, or that you are a difficult person, check yourself, talk about it, think about it, you, the couple, and understand that you probably shouldn't hire anybody if you're a difficult person, if you're demanding or you're looking for a slave, because that's not what we're here to do. It should be a mutually agreed upon relationship. Contracts are in place for both sides, and they're there for a reason. And you should enjoy the experience. You should think of your planner as a fairy godmother. But again, managing expectations. If you hired a planner and thought by hiring a planner, you were going to pay $10,000 for something that costs 40, that's the wrong attitude to have, because we are there absolutely to maximize your budget, absolutely to find the best options for you. But at the end of the day, the invoices are due. At the end of the day, you want to have a good relationship. At the end of the day, you want to feel like it was what you wanted it to be. So it takes communication. It takes working together. It takes understanding yourself and being a good person, a good couple, or a good bride, a good groom. And if you know you're not that person, then you probably should not hire a planner, because it's more than just, flowers and decor and having somebody at your beck and call. It should be a good experience. So take a look at yourself, girl. Are you that bride? Then you probably should not hire a planner, because nobody wants to deal with that. We planners talk about y'all when y'all are difficult, and we talk about y'all when y'all are great. So don't do it to yourself and don't do it to them, because the first thing, we live in cancel culture and everybody wants to say, oh, it was the worst experience. Well, was it all the planner or really was it you? Think about it. Okay. If you have a certain personality, A-type personality, and you meet up with a planner and you just realize it's not going to work, probably not the planner for you. And I can tell you, I have met with people during consultations and decided, you know what? I think I'm going to pass on this client because I can see it's not going to work. And it had nothing to do with money and nothing to do whether or not I like them. I just knew that we probably would not work well together. And that's why it's important to do consultations, even when you pay for it, because if nothing else, you walked away from the consultation a little more knowledgeable about the wedding process, or making a better decision. Maybe I should go this route. So having consultations, booking them, talking to a planner really helps you. And we do have a great checklist sheet that you can use when interviewing a planner to decide, is this the best planner for you? So make sure that you are following us on all social media platforms, especially YouTube at Girl You Can Plan It, where we help you get through the hustle and bustle and all the chaos of wedding planning. But also click the links in the bio and download some of those free worksheets that we have and free checkoff lists that will help you. So again, if you enjoyed this video, we ask that you comment below, like, share, and follow us for more at Girl You Can Plan It. So see you next time, girl, because you can plan it. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe at YouTube at Girl You Can Plan It. See you next time.